Hey guys, Jim here. 1990 f350. This is the white dump truck. We finally got it. It started today for the first time in how long? Oil pump went bad in it. He decided to pull the motor. You don't have to pull the motor to do an oil pump, even on one of these. You got to lift the motor some. You do not have to pull it. It's got the 5-speed. So that was real fun remating. He bastardized it. Not the owner. This is the guy he hired, the same bozo that did his minivan. This is what he did to the exhaust. He butchered it. He boogered the dipstick tube. So I got to pull the whole tube, straighten it some so I can get it to thread into the hole. We cannot get dipstick tube to go in yet. All the bolts were missing, so you can see all the gold bolts I'm putting in everywhere. I did finally get the motor and transmission mated back up. Another thing he did, he popped this off. And when he did, there's a rod in there. He let it go shooting out. Well, we put it back in. Seal's blowing in it. Got to get a new slave. Can't bleed it. So that's screwed. On top of cutting the exhaust here and here, he also cut it here and once somewhere back there. So I got to weld all this back up together. He started cutting the transmission cross member. He got it unbolted, still couldn't figure out why he couldn't make the transmission back together. So he started cutting it up here. So, don't ask me. I don't know why. I can't even answer. We're baffled. It gets better. Wait till we get topside. All the bolts were missing, hence why all the gold bolts. When he tried lifting the motor, he ran the chain right through there. So he busted all this vacuum stuff. Busted all the, as you can see, the ends are snapped off inside of there. So, I mean, this is a truck he runs just to haul garbage to the dump. That's it. I don't know how he managed it, because he hooked the chain here and over there. He busted the distributor cap. Don't know how. Not gonna go there. I already replaced it. Like I said, we started it, it runs. Now it's just a matter of getting, he busted the line right off of the power steering pump. So now we got to get a new power steering pump because he busted the plastic fitting right off the back of the pump housing. So we got to get a new power steering pump. Got to get a new clutch slave. We're going to try gluing all these fittings here. Don't know what we're going to be able to accomplish. But she did fire. I don't know if it will now. I took the jumper battery off. No, not enough juice without the jumper battery on it. So we got to get this thing, the battery charging. I got to get antifreeze for it. because I have not put antifreeze in it yet. the emissions tubes. He cut everything. So we just pulled it, not even gonna mess with it. Not a lot we can do. Where are you gonna even find the stuff if had to put it back on? Oh, what else? I don't know, I took notes. I'd have to go back through them, but yeah, this is the issue we're having. Yeah, the guy, he was here, even hearing it run, it didn't cheer him up a whole lot, because it's just, this guy is the same bozo who screwed his minivan up. So I can understand his frustration, you know. This guy just screwed everything he touched. Yeah, not a lot go. I mean, I got to get the exhaust welded up. I'm gonna get the pump today. And then, well, I want to get the pump and the clutch slave. That way I can back it outside, because I don't want to weld in here. We laid carpeting underneath here so I could have something to work on. So I want to get it outside so I can get the exhaust welded up. And then we're just going to do the best we can trying to get these vacuum leaks fixed. I don't know what to say. I'm at a total loss. Why this guy did what he did, I don't know. So I guess we're gonna leave it there. When we get it running all the way, we'll show a video of it running, because right now it's just trying to figure out how to fix the stuff he screwed up. Some of it's being jury rigged. Some of it we're having to buy parts for. I mean, it's a truck for him to go to the dump in. That's all he uses it for, you know, and we're putting some money into it to get it back. Oh, and then he gave him money to put new sway bar end links in it and tie rod ends. Needless to say, this is how he fixed the sway bar. He just bent the bolt over. So, yeah, now we can't just buy the bushings. Well, might be able to heat that and straighten it. The oil pan gasket. He charged them for a front and rear. All they did was goop the hell with the RTV. Oozing out everywhere. So that's how he fixed that. Yeah, I'd have to look at the list of everything we found. Just wires hanging everywhere. But he did this, and he couldn't figure out how to get the transmission back mated to the motor, so he ran 2 ratchet straps. That's them laying over there. It's like, well, you're a freaking idiot. Now that explains why you can't, because it really wasn't that hard. He broke an ear off the starter. So this is where I say some stuff's just being jury rigged, because that's how I fixed it. Just put a bolt through it and with a nut, and it's holding. For how long? Don't know, but at least it's holding, and hopefully it'll stay holding. If not, we'll readdress that bridge, because well, he did break the bolt. The bolt wouldn't come out, so he got out the trusty Sawzall and he cut the bolt out. When he cut the bolt out, he cut a hole into the bell housing. And then he didn't disconnect the wires. He just let the starter hang by the wires. So that was an issue. And then when he went to move the truck, he broke the ear off the starter. So It ain't funny. I shouldn't even laugh. The owner is he's just livid. I can't blame him. I mean, this is costing him money, and so we're gonna end it there. We're doing this video documenting damages, keeping the bill, because when this is all said and done, he is suing the guy. So, you know, this is kind of video evidence of what he screwed up and what he charged the guy for. He charged the guy for gaskets to put the oil pan. He didn't do it. He charged him for sway bar end links. As you see, there are no end links. He charged him for new tie rod ends. There's no new tie rod ends in it. So he just charged them and charged them and charged them, and the guy paid his bill. And it bit him in the ass big time. So, you know, this is, the guy screwed him 100%. Out of the rain. Y'all have a good night. Morning, everyone. It's Thursday morning. Yes, it's Thanksgiving. We're back on the F350 Nightmare. We have tried ordering a pickup tube. The one that came on this truck, we have ordered 5 different ones now. This is as close as we got. So what we're going to do, since this is backwards, we're just going to turn around and move on here. You can see how this has the stud right here. What we're going to do, we're going to put the oil pump up where it should be, figure out where we need to move this, and then we're just going to move that and retorque the ends. Then we'll get the oil pump pan. We got to put the pan inside the pump, get the whole thing in there. It's harder to do it this way, but your choice is pull the motor or do it this way. So we're going to do it this way. Then what we're going to do is, then we'll put the oil pump inside the pan, slide the whole unit up there. Then we'll pick the pump up, put it in the bolts there, put this one here, and then we could mate the pan to the block. So I'll film what I can when I can, but this is where we're at. So I'm going to get this moved where it needs to be. There's no sense filming that, because all you do is undo them and retorque them and that, and we'll go from there. So, all right, we'll be back shortly. All right, we got the oil pan in, the pump's down in there. There's our shaft that drives the oil pump. Got dark off black. So what we'll do is we'll get the oil pump put in, then we'll put the gasket in, and then attach the oil pump. That's the room you got to work in. It would be better if this cherry picker wasn't right here, because then I could lay there. But I got wood holding up that side of the motor. The cherry pickers hold it up this side because I couldn't get a piece of wood in there. So we'll deal with it as it is. You got to make sure that shaft goes into the oil pump, otherwise it will not drive the oil pump. Here's our gasket that we're going to put between the block and the oil pump. So that's what we're doing now. But yeah, I mean, you can do this without pulling the motor. Pulling the motor is a lot easier, but it's not always the most feasible. So that's where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and get the oil pump up, and then I'll go and put there's our gasket. I'll put the gasket up in there, and then we'll go and just put the oil pump to it, put all the bolts in, and set it down, and then we're ready for startup. So not a super complicated job. Again, you could do this at home on Chevys, Fords, I think on the Chevy 4-wheel drive, people say drop the center section, and then you could do it. I just lift the motor up because all you need is a cherry picker, and you can rent these at most do-it centers, or you can buy one. They're not super expensive. You know, I think they're 120 to 150 bucks. You can get a decent one, and you know, like this one's similar to mine. You can undo the legs, and then, you know, you can put it in a corner for future use if you need it. So, but yeah, this is how I do them. I don't pull the motors because it just seems a lot more time intensive to actually pull the motor versus just undoing the motor mounts. All you gotta do is watch when you lift it, that you're not breaking wires or overstretching them or anything. And but yeah, this is how I do them, and I've not had any issue. So, all right, let me get that oil pump in, get the oil pan gasket on. All right, got the oil pump in. Right there, oil pump's in. That shaft right there, I don't know if you're seeing that, there's a shaft that you have to make sure it goes into your oil pump because that's what drives it. So hopefully it shows. I got one hand on the light, one on camera. I can't get a third hand. So now that's in. The nut back holding the screen's tight. Now we'll put the gasket in, put the oil pan up. We'll get the oil pan bolted down. We're running. No leaks. We got oil pressure. I gotta mount that yet. We just want to take it for a test drive. All right. So he's been sitting for a very long time. She's still a little cold. She's moving. We ain't gonna be able to get rid of the engine light because we now no longer have oil pressure or coolant temp going to that's tripping those. I'm gonna call that a success.